Alex, you know what I don't fucking understand?
Yeah, what's up?
People who will turn away money based on some sort of garbage morality thing. Like, it makes me so mad whenever like somebody like receives a donation or something, and that donation happens to be from somebody who, might be a little bit racist or a little sexist or just like a bad person in general. And they look at that donation, no matter what they're collecting donations for, no matter what those donations might do for them. They look at this donation, and for some reason, their little moral grandstanding fucking bullshit brains are like, I can't accept this. I have to make a big public spectacle about how I'm not gonna accept this because it's from the bad guys. I can't. Your money isn't good here. Your money is poison. I can't take money from you, you poison. Like, if you're collecting money for like an important reason, like if you're a charity, then no
Okay.
matter what fucking amount of no matter who you get money from, there should be no limit to like no the most deplorable scumbags on the planet. If you run like a charity or if you're fundraising for a purpose, then why the fuck would you at all deny the money? It makes no sense. It's just moral grandstanding fuckery. That's all it is. I can't handle it, and this is in my mind because as we've talked about plenty of times, both me and Alex have been listening to a lot of a podcast called The Dick Show, and they discussed an incident in which the Kill Stream, which used to be a very popular live stream show on YouTube hosted by Ethan Ralph, now it's who knows where because it gets banned from every platform possible because we live in a world nowadays where for some reason, if you're a scumbag, you're not allowed to have an internet platform, which seems silly to me. It seems like you would just have the freedom of speech to have an internet platform, regardless of how much of an asshole you are. Like, I hate Ethan Ralph. Like, there are plenty of reasons why I hate Ethan Ralph's guts, reasons that Alex probably doesn't understand yet. And she's like, I like Ralph. You won't like Ralph by the time you're caught up. But even so, I don't think he should be having his show banned from every platform on the face of the planet. And the specific incident was when they did the heal stream, which was a special kill stream in which they were collecting donations for St. Jude, and then they raised like over 20K for St. Jude, and St. Jude after YouTube and St. Jude were contacted by a journalist, YouTube deleted Ethan Ralph's channel, and then St. Jude was like, "We will not accept this money from this racist live stream."
I'm
Like,
sorry. Wait, didn't this happen already though? That
what do you mean?
in my timeline?
Yes, it already happened for you. I'm saying you don't know why I don't like Ethan Ralph yet. He still seems like a good person to you right now. That's a separate issue.
I don't
That's
really
much
know much
later.
about him though. I mean, I know he went to prison, but that's about it. Like that's the extent
he,
of.
he he starts like funny and cool, and then he does some scummy shit. It turns out he's not great, but like he should still have a platform. Is the point I'm making? And
Well, yeah,
also,
everybody deserves a platform to
Saint
speak.
Jude should accept his fucking money when there's kids dying. Like, at the end of
What
the
what's
day, it
the
doesn't
what's the
matter.
thing? Hold on. What's the thing that Dick says? Freedom of speech without freedom of speech is freedom of from consequences.
Yes, free the he often criticizes the people who say freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences, which is a very strong fucking cuck SJW talking point that is just completely farcical. Like, the whole point of the freedom of speech is to avoid the consequences. You wouldn't if if consequences don't come into play, you wouldn't need freedom of speech because you still will get consequences whether you have freedom of speech or not. So what the fuck is the point?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
I truly believe that to most extents you should be able to say whatever you want. Like, literally, I do draw a line somewhere because I feel like everybody has to. But my line where I draw, and I feel like the most reasonable place to draw that line is just like the law. Like, don't threaten to murder people because you're not allowed to do that. And that's it. I don't care. You can say whatever else you want. Just don't threaten to kill or hurt people because it's illegal to do that. and I agree with those laws. But other than that, whatever like hate speech you have, you can say it. I don't care. As long as you are not threatening to do a violent crime. That is where I draw my speech line.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not like endorsing.
I'm not endorsing
like,
them.
hate
I'm not
speech or
saying I
anything
agree
like
with
that,
them,
but
but I don't think hate speech should be banned. I think people should be able to say hate speech if they want to. I don't agree with the hate speech. I think people who are racist and sexist and stuff for real are stupid. And
I mean,
probably
yeah, but it's
probably have
freedom
a
of speech.
single
If
digit
I want to hate
IQ.
women, if I want to go off on a podcast about why flat earthery is garbage and fucking stupid, then I have every right to do so. If I want to go
Exactly.
call out a one Mr. Sergeant for being fucking stupid,
God damn it.
then yeah, I have the freedom to do so. However, I don't like if I want to go on a podcast and say I'm gonna fucking kill your family to somebody. I almost was
That's
gonna.
too much.
I don't think it is unless I act on it.
No. I really do think threats of
Actions are
violence.
different than words. Actions are different than words, though. Like I'm not condoning hate speech, but I'm not like you can't act on the words you say. That's the point of freedom of speech.
No, because the whole point is like the whole argument behind people being allowed to say that type of shit is that they're not
So okay,
the
okay, hold on.
argument the
Let me put
argument
something in
against it.
perspective
No, let
here.
me say it first. The argument against it is that it's inciting violence. And the only way to defend against that argument is to claim it's not inciting violence, which I think is true in a lot of cases. That is why I draw the line there. I draw the line at directly inciting violence.
I don't think it's inciting violence. Nothing is illegal until you act on it, though.
Saying that you're going to do violence or telling other people to do violence, that is the line, I think.
That's the line.
Yes.
Saying I'm going to hurt somebody is wrong.
Yes, you can say you hate them, you could say you don't like them because of the color of their skin, but if you directly threaten to hurt them, that is an issue.
So this is the perfect example here. I'm on. I believe there's audio of me threatening to come down and beat the shit out of you.
That's in jest, so that's a joke.
Do you know it is a joke?
Yes.
How?
When
How do
I
you
say inciting violence, I mean like serious shit. Like you look at somebody and like with no hint of irony, with like pure anger in your heart, you're like, I'm gonna come to your house and fucking kill you. Or like
how do you know that
you,
back then was joking though?
Everybody
That's the
who's
thing.
listening,
That's what I'm trying to get at. Is how do you know that I was joking?
maybe at the end of the day, maybe that's fine. I think more what I'm thinking of is
I'm
like
just an internet person you met 5 years ago. You don't know what I'm gonna do.
Inciting other people to enact violence, I think, is the problem more. Like, I think there's a difference between somebody who gets on a stage and says, like, I don't like European people, and then somebody who gets up on a
pick
stage
a different group. You wanted to pick out the safest group that you could
yes, the safest group possible.
An audio clip of you saying I hate such and such. You wanted to pick out European people.
Yeah. Just for the sake of example, we don't have to get any.
You couldn't have went and said something that you can back up.
Italian people.
I would have said Americans. Americans are fucking stupid.
Fair enough. If you that's a good
Everybody
example.
says we're the best country in the world.
Here's the example.
Not,
you get up on a stage and you're like, I fucking hate Americans. They're stupid pieces of shit, and I hate them because they're Americans and for no logical reason. That's hate speech, but you should be allowed to say it.
Exactly.
But if you get up on a stage and say, hey, everybody listening to this thing I'm saying right now, you should go kill Americans. That's where the line is. Like, you can't do that. You can't say that, I don't think.
Why? Why not?
Because it's not
what's the moral?
Because the speech you're using in that case has the ability. You are directly inciting violence, and if people act upon it, that's on you, I think.
I don't think that's
you can
your
say
responsibility, though.
You can say you hate something, but you can't like say like, "Hey, everybody, go."
Like if I say on this podcast, "Go fuck up Riely's house,"
yeah,
and tomorrow someone goes and finds you and fucks your house up, Am I responsible for the actions of that person?
That's just vandalism. The thing is, like, there's a difference between vandalism and fucking murder. Okay,
Well, that's where it comes down to
if you
actions are
said
different than words.
if you said with no hint of irony, like, you should go kill Riely, and then somebody came and killed me,
I wouldn't be responsible for it.
I feel like you would be. Not you wouldn't be charged with murder, but I feel like you would be charged with, like, accessory.
I don't think so, though. That's the thing. That's the thing. Freedom of speech is freedom from consequences.
You see, the Demigloom, if she's hearing this, she's fucking freaking the fuck out right now. She thinks my positions on free speech are flawed. I didn't think I would meet a warrior who had surpassed me in freedom of speech.
Really,
Jujitsu.
There are so many audio clips of me saying really, really outlandish things. All right? I come on this podcast and I went off on fucking flat earthers and Mr. Sargent for 30 minutes last week.
I agree. No. I think
someone comes to me and says if something were to happen to him and they blame me, I am not responsible for anything that happens to anybody because of what I say.
There should be room for interpretation, though. Like in those cases, like, it's pretty plain to see that you're saying it in jest. You could claim that you're saying it in jest in a court of law, and I feel like that should be genuinely considered and taken into account in the legal case. But if you, with no irony, get on your platform and you're like, "Hey, everybody, go kill X group of people," and then they go kill X group of people, then I feel like that's the line. That's when you maybe should receive consequences.
I'm not responsible for the actions of my audience.
But you're encouraging them to do the thing that they did.
I'm not responsible for the actions of my audience. I will never come out and say,
that defense only works.
Riely's house. I would say, man, it would be a shame if Riely's house burned down tomorrow.
That's the thing, but now you're fucking.
How you say it. It's okay. It's 100% how you say it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there should be nuance, but, like, in general, if you say go kill these guys and then they go kill these guys, you've said it in the most direct way possible, and you have directly incited that. Whereas if you say you hate these people and then they go and kill them, that's not your fault. You're not responsible for the actions of your audience. But if you're directly saying go do this action, that's when I feel like you are responsible.
I still don't think so. Like, I don't think it's inciting violence. I think it's the responsibility of the listener, not the responsibility of the content creator.
Yeah, but I don't think
you actually expected this to turn into, like, a whole big debate, to be completely honest.
I can't believe somebody has surpassed me on the free speech absolutism.
Like, that I was a free speech activist, Riely?
Yes, but I thought most people who were free speech. I consider myself a free speech activist, but
Riely, I feel like the radicalized. You radicalized me. This is your fault. You created Monster. Now, because you told me to go listen to the Dick Show, and my views on the world have changed because of it, and I go and do something, are you morally responsible for me? For my actions?
You didn't kill anybody.
What if I do?
Tell you to kill anybody.
What if I do kill someone because
it's only direct? Only direct matters is what I'm saying.
You directed me toward a quote-unquote right-wing podcast.
Yes, okay? And whatever actions you commit as a result of listening to a right-wing podcast, that's unrelated.
No.
Tell you to go do those things.
It's a quote-unquote right-wing podcast.
But I'm saying it's only direct, only one-to-one. If I tell you to go listen to a podcast, and because you listen to that podcast, you do something, that's not my fault. But if I tell you directly, go do something, and then you do something, I feel like that's kind of my fault.
Why?
Because I told you to go do it. I said, go do this thing, and then you did that thing.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not, like, fully, like, you're making good points, but I'm not fully agreeing with you here.
I never thought I would have to combat a free speech absolutist.
like, okay.
Because I would consider myself
let's put
a
another
free speech
scenario out there. I
absolutist.
want to put another scenario out there because I want to kind of pick your brain here a little bit. All right.
Okay.
I want to see. I want to push the limits here a little bit.
We are 15 minutes into the cold opening, by the way, just so you know, everybody.
Welcome to Detour Ahead, everybody. This is the episode. I'm Alex, and that's Riely.
We have a topic
everybody.
that was particularly planned for this episode for a particular reason.
You brought this evil upon this world. All right.
Okay, I don't think this will last the whole hour, but we'll see.
We'll see how long this goes. All right. Who? You know what? Okay. If you want to drop this, I was gonna go into some World War II era shit, and I realized that this goes up on YouTube. So, by the way,
what a
hello everybody on YouTube. This is 53, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Say it, you pussy, Mr. Fucking. I don't care what happens to my channel. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. You've said that on this show before. Yes.
All right. Who's responsible for the Holocaust?
Adolf Hitler.
Why?
Because he said, "Go get the Jews and bring them here to me so I can kill them."
Nope. I might be stupid. Hold on.
He definitely said that to his officers. He might not have said that publicly.
Okay.
But he definitely looked at his generals in the eye and he was like, "Hey, go to the village,
here's
get the Jewish people."
Let's say that he told 10 people below him, who then basically pyramid schemed this, right?
Yes.
Who is the most responsible? Who is, in this scenario, who is the most responsible?
Still the initial party, because it's still a direct one-to-one relaying of the message.
But
like it's the message still starts from you.
Does he have any blood on his hands?
Yes.
No.
Oh, you're asking me physically. I thought you meant like in the metaphysical sense.
No,
he does not have any blood on his hands.
We only work in physical here.
Okay.
We don't work in metaphysics, because metaphysics is for people with degrees who think they're smarter than everybody else. Hence metaphysics. Fuck metaphysics.
Fair enough.
I work in real physics, motherfucker. I work in real physics.
The realist of science at Detour Ahead.
Oh, we only work in the real sciences. I don't want to think about big picture. I want to think about small pictures. All right? Small little pictures. I'm the now
kind of guy. Who cares if I'm going to die of
everybody else listening? Small little podcast. All right? Small little podcasts, small little pictures. All right? We only work in small little things here on Detour Ahead. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Back to what we were talking about. Who is the most responsible?
Okay, who is the most responsible is the person with blood on their hands.
Exactly.
I'm not saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
I'm not advocating for him. All right, I'm not advocating for Hitler.
Okay, no. Wait a minute.
There's a man who was very, very radicalized. All right,
there's nuance here that I have to address. I feel like
I want to clarify that. I just wanted to say I want this in very, very clear so that the YouTube bots can very clearly hear me. All right?
Yeah. Hey, people who are listening to this in the fucking review, why don't you fucking open your ears? I'm mad because I had a death stream banned.
Me, Kolochu, does not condone the actions that were taken place during the Holocaust. This is for banter. This is a joke. Do not fucking flag my video. Go flag the other one. Go flag it for if you're actually listening, go flag the previous episode for hate speech. Because Mark Sargent's a fucking asshole.
Okay.
Well, because I went off and said I hate him. So anyway.
I feel like to address a nuance here that I failed to address when you initially asked me the question. I think there's an exception to the one with their blood on their hands is the most responsible rule in the case where the person has like a real, genuine governmental authority. I think that's a different case. There's a whole new set. That's a whole new set of clams, whole new set of chickens for you to not pay attention to in my backyard. in that scenario, like I think once you have like governmental authority, that's like a whole new situation because you do control people. You have the power to control people objectively in that case. So that's a different thing. Hitler was directly controlling people. So that's why I feel like he was the most culpable. If you're in a direct position of governmental power where you objectively have the ability to control people, that is the point where it becomes your fault when you tell them to do something and they do something.
Do we have control over our listeners? Are we
No.
responsible for what our listeners choose to do?
No, but I feel like there's still room. It's a nuanced thing because like we're not directly responsible. We don't rule over them. But if we get in their ear and they're like, hey buddy, go kill that guy, and then they kill that guy. We told them to do that.
Responsible.
We're not as responsible as them, but I feel like you should be liable to some degree.
I think where I messed up on my part of the argument was going too big picture. Remember, here at Detour Ahead, we don't work in metaphysics. We work in
small picture. Small picture, okay.
Small picture, small podcast, all right? Remember that. The dude who killed John Lennon, who said that the one book, I think it was Catcher in the Rye, said kill John Lennon, was the writer of the book responsible for the death of John Lennon.
If the book actually said kill John Lennon, then
what if the dude who wrote the book, what if the person who wrote the book said, yes, I put that in there? Are they responsible for their reader acting upon it?
If they put that in there, then to some degree, yes.
To some degree. See, that's what I was looking for.
That's what I'm saying. To some degree. It's not
solid yes, so it is arguable that
I'm saying that was never my intention. I'm saying you don't get charged for murder because you incited somebody to kill somebody. You do get charged.
The definition.
Oh my god, looking shit up during the podcast. I have to shit on you for it because Crow Royalty will listen to this and call me a hypocrite if I don't. It is not a good thing to do during a podcast, for the record. Sometimes maybe I'm a tad hypocritical with Crow Royalty, but it's because I'm trying to mold him. I want the student to become the master. I want them to be better than me.
Better? I don't think anybody can be better than you, Riely.
Aww.
I mean, you can read into that however you would like to, so.
How else would I read into it?
What
subtext could exist there?
I don't know what my words mean anymore because you're not saying that I have freedom of speech anymore. So, like, you can read into it however you want. I can say whatever I want without the consequences of my words, Riely.
True.
However you read into what I just said is on you. It is not on me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not on you at all because you didn't directly instruct me to do something.
I don't think you actually. I love how that you just randomly came upon this as like, well, shit. I wasn't prepared for this.
I wasn't ready.
I know you weren't ready. Welcome to the show, everyone.
We should have saved this for the middle school GSA crossover.
No. You can hear this. You're
a scaredy bitch because you don't want Demigloom to not like you anymore. But I feel like this actually would have been.
My political views are already out there on a podcast. If you just search it, you can find out everything that I believe in. All right, not just this podcast.
Talk about your political views on a podcast before.
I talked about who I would have voted for in the 2016 and 2020 elections.
Oh, okay.
It's already out there, so I would have voted for Trump both elections. And if he does get a chance to run again next year, I will be voting.
I can't wait for the DM I'm gonna get from Kolochu in like 2 days. Can you cut the Trump thing out of the podcast?
No, it's already out there. There's nothing I can do about it.
That's true, but you don't want to put it out there further. It's like me and my last name, which I used to say on podcasts, and now I don't. And I don't want to release any old shit that has it in it new, because I would like to distance myself from it so that new audience members don't pick up on it. I feel like you feel similarly.
This is like the perfect dynamic of like a radicalized right-wing trans girl and a
straight white male who's a liberal.
and a cis male who's a liberal. This is literally the concept of a fucking biggest problem. Minus the fact that the radicalized right winger is trans, which is like literally just beating heads constantly. But anyway, like my political views are out there. I don't like to talk about them much, but like this podcast brings it out, so it's whatever. It happens, you know. Apples and oranges, right, Riely?
Apples and oranges. That's right.
Dude, that's like my new favorite thing to just say to people. Anytime I get into an argument and someone's like blah 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 blah, I'm just like, you know what? Let's just leave it here. Apples and oranges, my guy. Apples and oranges. And everybody's like, what? I'm like, it's apples and oranges. Everybody knows about apples and oranges.
And then if they ask you about it anymore, you're like, look, don't worry about my fucking chickens.
Riely, that was a nuance. That was a nuance of don't fucking come after me. Don't come after what I say or what I do. Unless it's illegal. But I don't do anything illegal.
It is illegal to incite violence. That's already true. I'm arguing for more freedom of speech than most people. Inciting violence is already illegal. I'm saying that by doing hate speech and not directly inciting violence,
that's the same thing as getting arrested for disturbing the peace. It's a bullshit law that doesn't need to be around anymore. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Don't tell me it's not. It's the same thing.
Know.
I think it's the same thing.
I don't know. Kind of sus, Walt.
Besides, everybody knows trans girls can't get canceled on.
No, I think they can.
No, because then I become a victim.
I think like
if you cancel me on the internet, I become a victim.
Blair White's been thoroughly canceled. I'm trying to think of the other.
Yeah, but Blair White's a fucking stupid idiot. All right.
She's also very hot.
Is she?
Yes.
I didn't want to give her the time of day. Honestly, I didn't even I heard her name first, and I thought about looking her up, and I'm just like, you know what? That gives her power. No, that gives her too much power.
Legitimately, like I guess some people would consider this transphobic, so I would like to say I'm not transphobic. I fully believe in the right.
Nobody's gonna come after you for being transphobic. Nobody's gonna come after you for being transphobic. You do a podcast with me.
It's the same thing.
You do a podcast with Demi.
But it's the same thing as like when the racist guy goes, "Yeah, some of my best friends are black." Like it doesn't completely excise me from criticism. But
you don't come on here and be like, "I hate trans women. Trans women aren't real women." Like you're not coming out here.
Stop interrupting me. I hear you. I'm just saying I'm not transphobic. I believe in the rights and identity of all transgender people. However, I do have an aesthetic sexual preference in which I am not sexually stimulated by penises, regardless of the gender they belong to. But there's one exception I would be willing to make for that, and it's Blair White, because I'm pretty sure she hasn't had bottom surgery. I would make an exception for Blair White.
I don't know. I think you're giving her too much power. She's not the brightest woman in the world.
Oh, I never claimed she was bright. I'm just saying she's hot as fuck.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't have an opinion on this topic here. Mainly because I feel like if I go...
There's another trans woman that like I'm thinking of that also is like super.
Well, I mean, there's plenty. Dude, just hop over to trans TikTok, man. There's plenty. There's plenty. I can't get off it because TikTok knows I'm trans, so like there's nothing I can do about it. I'm forever stuck there.
But don't. No, I don't want to go down a political rabbit hole. Never mind.
We've already been down the rabbit hole.
I don't want to go further though, because like we're in specifically the realm of free speech, and I was about to like leave that and get further into political weeds. So let's just cap it.
You want to start the show?
We already started the show. You did an intro.
Start the show again. Just start the show again. This is the longest cold open we've had.
No, you already said that it's too late. You already
formal opening. Cut here. Paste whatever happens after this. Right at the beginning of the episode. We'll put it in post. We'll put it in post.
No, we won't. Shut up. We're not doing any of that.
We'll put it in post. Editor, put anything.
The editor is me, and we're not doing
editor,
that.
Go take an intro from another episode and put it in the front of this one.
No.
I will do it. I'll do it. If you let me, I'll do it.
I won't let you.
I'll go pull the I'll go pull.
No, because that's stupid. It's not only that I don't want to go through the effort, it's also that it's stupid.
There's multiple stupid. It's kind of funny.
Facets here.
I think it's kind of funny to go just take other intros and put them in and just kind of splice them in a little bit, but you know.
But no, we'll get off politics with the thought of I would fuck the shit out of Blair White, and with that we can move out of the topic.
Is that where you want to leave this?
Yeah, I mean, like, I have more, like, questions for you, but it's not gonna make for a good show, so I guess, like, just remind me later.
I mean, I think arguments make for great shows, so...
Okay, I mean, if you're willing to fully get into your political views right now, I guess I'm willing to have the discussion.
I don't know how fully I want to get, like, how fully... Okay, give me, like, a little softball question, like, how fully do I want to get into this?
I'm trying to think of a softball way to put this, but I feel like this is a hardball.
Okay, give me a fucking hardball. I don't care. Ask me one question.
So you and anybody else who is a trans person or otherwise LGBTQ community person, maybe not like the gays as much. I don't know why I said the gays.
Let's stick to trans. Let's stick to trans for now.
Trans people who are on the right.
Because LGBT is different from...
Hold on.
Continue.
How do you justify the fact that most Republicans and kind of the establishment at large support laws that limit the rights of transgender people? How do you justify that?
How do I justify the fact that there are laws going against mine and other trans people's beliefs? Is that what you're asking?
Yes. How do you justify when voting for Republican candidates that even though they are directly in opposition to the rights of your group?
I don't vote Republican. I vote for people. If you fly under a name, that doesn't mean that you're part of that group.
So you wouldn't identify as a Republican necessarily, is what you're saying?
No, because I don't support the ostracization of anybody in the LGBT community. I don't believe in that at all. I believe in...
Yes, but Donald Trump does, and you voted for Donald Trump.
I did not vote.
Or you would have voted if you could have.
Because he made America great again, and I fully believe that he did.
And you're willing to accept his desire to...
I believe that the presidency is spent reversing everything that the previous one did. I believe that Trump took his 4 years trying his best to reverse everything that Obama did, and so on and so on. Biden is trying to reverse everything that Trump did during his presidency. And it's a consistent back and forth between a corrupt two-party system. Trump won because of what he said, not because he was under the Republican name. If Trump could have ran under independent, he would have, but he would not have won. Do you understand that? Do you understand what I just said?
Yes, I do understand what you said. However,
Trump is a centrist. He is not right-wing Republican. He is not extremist.
I don't know if I'm willing to...
He ran under the Republican name because that's what he mostly believes in. He would have never been under Democrat because Democrat has been so radicalized to so far to the left that not a lot of people can identify with everything that they do. Same with Republican. That's why I don't say that I am one or the other. I have never said that I am one or the other.
Okay, fair enough. But I feel like Donald Trump...
actual truth, and I'm sure there's a recording of me saying I'm a Republican.
Yeah, but either way, ignoring the labels and thinking specifically about the guy, Donald Trump, it is definitely a fact that he has made statements that imply that he intends or would like to limit the rights of trans people.
We've
So
had
with
this
that,
discussion before, to be completely fair. You tried finding that one video and sending it to me. I remember
which I
this
did find
conversation.
it,
He was talking about children.
he was talking about kids, but he also, a couple of the things, he was mostly talking about kids, but that's how he gets you. Like he was
That's
mostly
not how he
talking.
gets. That's not
No,
how
no,
he
no.
gets you. That's
Alex,
not how he gets you.
Alex, in the video, he literally says, he starts talking about kids, and he starts giving this whole speech about the safety of our kids. But then he says something about like a law, and then he slips in subtly at any age. He says that in the video like 8 times in reference to laws about transgender shit. He slips in when you don't notice. He just says at any age, like he just slips it in.
We talked about this. It's not on the
Yes, but you
recording.
watched the same
I know.
video.
I know. I watched the same video as you. I don't think that he said that. I don't think he said that. And I think he's talking about children. Once you turn 18, you have the freedom to do what you want. Once you turn 18, you want to go change your name
That's not.
to
That's
Optimus
not what at
Prime,
any
you
age
can do that.
means.
At any age means he is talking in the context of children at any age. Specifically, legally children. Once you turn 18, those laws do not apply to you. Am I going to get a lawsuit now? Well, I haven't fucked yours.
Yeah, I might have to sue you for $380 million.
Just bump it up to 400. Make me the $400 $400 million trans
man.
woman. Look. We I don't want to rehash. I don't want this episode.
Okay, so I
to
do
be
see.
bad, all right.
I'm scrolling through Google just trying to find some information about Trump's opinions on transgender people. I do immediately see something that says this is a news piece from back when Donald Trump was president. The Trump administration is considering a legal definition of gender as immutable and fixed at birth.
Okay. So legal definition, that's fine. If
That's fine. You're okay with
if
that?
I go kill someone, what jail am I going to?
I mean, it depends on your state.
If I kill you, if I commit murder, what jail am I going to? Men's or women? That's a question of do they want to put a biological male in a woman's prison, or do they want to put a trans woman in a male prison? It's the lesser of two evils, because one, I could be a serial rapist and go around raping women in a women's prison. Or, if I'm not, and I'm put in a male prison, I am now the victim and I will be targeted. There's no good way of looking at this, except for basically the lesser of two evils. You can look at the legal definition of what a gender is, and you can look at it objectively, and you can look at subjectively. Objectively, it's what you were born with. It's what you have. And if you go and take the whole process, I believe that you can change it. I'm not saying that's what you have to do, but legally, if you go through the whole process, I believe you should change it whenever you want. You want to be a woman, you want to be a man, you can do whatever you want in the eyes of the law. Because I don't think it should matter. But there are people out there who think that the way I identify means absolutely nothing, and it means I'm delusional. Right?
I'm sorry, repeat the last sentence.
There are people out there that look at me and call me delusional for the way I identify.
Yes.
Those are the far left Democrats. Now, there are other
What?
people. Yes. No, the far right Republicans. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The far right, all right? The far left will look at me and say, you're a woman 100% in the eyes of the law and outside of it. 100% all across the board. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what I do. This is such a new concept, especially in the law, that we have not been able to find a middle ground between those two. It's literally just a yes and a no. The lesser
You think there
of two
has
evils.
to be a middle ground?
I believe there should be, yes.
I don't know if I agree.
I also believe that the government is filled with boomers who can't physically understand, who cannot conceptually understand the idea of being trans. Which is why there's so much turmoil about it. They don't
I mean,
understand it, which
it
is
has
why
nothing
they're
to do with
afraid
the
of it, and they're
boomers.
making it
It has
does.
nothing to do with the boomers because it's the Zoomers who are advocating for it to be the other end of the spectrum where there is no middle ground, and if you're trans, you're just considered whatever gender you want to be.
I think there should be a middle ground. A middle ground would appease both sides. That's the whole point of this.
I don't
That's the
think it
whole point of
would.
the government.
The
Is
trans
to
side is
appease
not
both
willing to
sides, to
accept the
be
middle ground because
bipartisan.
it's not fair.
How is
It's
it
not
not
fair.
fair?
It's not fair to them that they only get to some limited human rights as the gender they feel that they truly are. Like they don't think it's acceptable that they only get some women's rights when they're a woman. And I understand and agree with that, I think.
I mean, men and women are equal under the eyes of the law. I don't know what you're talking about, right? Like, what rights do men have
Well,
that
I
women
mean,
don't
what
have?
are the middle grounds you're surmise? Like the ability to go to a woman's bathroom, the ability to go to a woman's prison, the ability to, in situations where men and women are segregated, the ability to unequivocally be considered the gender you identify in all of those cases, except for cases where there's except for literally just sports, because like then your bone density comes into play, but that doesn't apply anywhere else.
Just the fact that I haven't had surgery. Does that come into play whether which prison or which bathroom I go into?
I don't think it should.
Then why does it apply to sports?
Because sports, people who are born biologically male and biologically female, naturally develop different density bones. And
Okay.
in those cases, that can provide unfair advantages in the field of athletics specifically.
Having a penis in a women's prison gives me an unfair advantage.
How does that give you an advantage? What does your penis gain you in that scenario? You're not going to be better at prison because you have a penis, whereas you will be better at sports because you have bones of a different density.
See, this is the other argument. You have to go across the board. Isn't that what you were arguing before?
You're right. You're right. I did
You
kind
want
of talk
across the
myself
board?
into
You're
a corner
contradicting
there. I
yourself now.
apologize.
You want across the board, right?
I did contradict myself. This is a Riely versus Riely situation. However, I feel like the middle. Maybe I extrapolated this, but I feel like the middle ground you're implying, and no, because you're making arguments about it. The middle ground you're implying is a much less reasonable middle ground than the one I'm referencing, where it's literally just sports and that's it, because of this direct internal physical thing that directly affects a competition.
I mean, yeah, but like at the same time, if I go to a woman's prison, or if I go to a male prison as a trans woman, that directly influences how people are going to treat me there. That directly influences the outcome of my prison sentence. The result, I should say. The result, to match your words. If
What do
I'm
you
put in a
mean?
male prison, that directly influences the result of my prison sentence.
What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
I will get raped and killed for being a woman in a male prison. I will be a target. I'll become a victim,
Okay.
which directly influences the result of my prison sentence,
Wait, well
which
that's
is
not that's
I
first
either
of all,
die in prison or I am reformed. The point of prison is
that's an
to be reformed. How
extrapolation.
can I be reformed when men can? If I go to a male prison, how am I to be reformed? Which is the concept of prison, by the way, mind you. How am I to be reformed when I'm constantly a victim and targeted?
Wait, you're arguing my side.
Am I?
Yes. Cuz you are a woman, and if you went into a man's prison that would present an issue for
Yes,
you, a woman.
exactly.
And what I'm surmising is that since you identify as a woman, you would be able to go to a woman's prison.
I'm using prison
That is
as an
the
argument for
reality.
sports because sports. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. All right.
Okay, I guess I'm just having a hard time comprehending the argument you're making. Just
It's
keep.
all right. It's all right.
Okay.
Riely, I have like 4 years of wisdom on you here. All right. I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot in this world. This world has
Okay.
taken a lot from me. I'm trying to be an asshole. I apologize. You didn't get it, so it didn't have the same rub off as what I was hoping for.
So sometimes
I was trying to call
things
you
just
young
don't
and
hit me.
I was trying to call you young and inexperienced in the
No,
world,
to
in
be
the way
fair,
of the world.
I did hear that, and I was going to like snap back at you, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let her have it. Because I thought you were being serious. I was like, I'm not gonna muddy this argument. I'm not gonna muddy this intellectual discussion we're having by
It's a very
calling you on that
intellectual
shit.
discussion.
I'm gonna be the bigger man and not call you on your bullshit and just continue to have a logical conversation. So yes, I did get what you were doing. I just chose to be the bigger person.
Yeah, okay. We all know who the bigger person is.
Yes, me, because I'm very fat. That's the joke, everybody.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. You're mopping up when I'm spilling over here. I got it.
Man, I was not expecting this to go this way. This is great, but I wasn't ready for it.
I mean, episode well, I mean, as of recording, the most cancelable episode has not been released on YouTube yet.
I think
as of recording.
I think it's been dethroned. I think this might be the most cancelable episode of Detour Head now.
I don't know. Last week was kind of spicy too.
This is the most cancelable episode of Detour.
Cancelable. I mean, it's not, because it's an intellectual discussion.
Fair. I think I just need to stop being like a big pussy. Like, I really hate the way that society is now, where like people just refuse to at all. People just politics is everything now. When there used to be an ability in society to separate the politics from the person, like not just
I completely agree.
Not completely judge a person. No,
Do you know
I'm
how
not.
hard it is?
I'm not saying you disagree with this. I'm just making a point in general.
No. I'm making a point to agree with you here that politics have become people's personality now. Me dating as a trans woman basically puts me in a very, very small group of people who are going to either accept or actually be interested in me as who I am. I've been on multiple dates over this past year. Every single one of them asked me my political views, and I always tell them truthfully, because I'm not going to lie about it. I say I don't vote because voting doesn't actually mean anything. And
oh, wait a minute. You're one of those, huh?
Voting doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
If I vote right and if I vote red and you vote blue, neither of our votes matter.
That's that we're have to deduct 5 smart points for that one.
Riely, tell me, does my vote matter in California?
Yes.
No.
Because
the majority of people there will be voting blue. So whether I vote or not,
this is the mindset that defeats you. There's always the way that voting exists. There's always a chance that if you truly drive a change can happen. But if everybody is thinking like, "Oh, my vote doesn't matter anyway," and they don't fucking vote, there's never a chance for that to happen.
I don't think there's a chance at all. I think it's all just like a little show that they put on.
It's a pie in the sky, sure, but like, there's always a little chance.
There's not.
Like there's even if it's infinitesimal, there's always a tiny chance that there will be like maybe a population influx of people who relocated, combined with just a stronger uprising of people who feel that way. A change could be driven. But if everybody is staying home because they don't feel like their vote matters, then there's no chance of that ever happening.
So who gets elected if nobody votes? If none of the general populace, nobody in political office.
I don't have to answer that question because that's a completely stupid decision.
It's a hypothetical think piece.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to be so fighty, but
this is a fighty episode.
But that was an unnecessary snap. But the thing is, like, in that scenario, I guess nobody. But that scenario will never occur because we live in a world where
We live in a society.
we live in a society where there's
Yeah,
always going to be
okay.
someone voting. There's
So
never going to be a time where literally no one does.
If one single vote comes up, do you think that they would encourage more people to vote? Or do you think that the government would tell me my vote doesn't matter because I'm the only one who did it? In our scenario, if I actually go out and do it, nobody else does. Do you think that the government would listen to my single vote?
In the scenario where we live in a democratic government and we conduct the vote like we always have, and by some crazy act of God, you were the only one that showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In our scenario. Okay, so you think you're putting a lot of trust on some high power people, motherfucker. You're putting a lot of trust in these higher powers, buddy.
Yeah, see, I guess, like, what I'm describing is, like, my own perfect world, but, like, I guess probably maybe you're right. If I think of how the real world is, maybe you are correct, and they would
If you
not listen
factor
to
in the
you.
real world into our little scenario, whoever is president
Well,
at
this
the
is
time
big
will look at
picture.
my
I'm
vote
talking
and tell
small
me, no,
picture.
fuck you. You don't matter in the big picture. That's what I'm talking about.
Small picture, no metaphysics.
You got me. You got me. I went too big. I got too big. I gotta bring it down. In the vote here, let's say we bring on 3 people. Let's say we bring on one more person onto this podcast. We're not going to do that because I don't want to involve anybody else. I don't want to involve our nice guests in this.
Except for Penguin Mage. Open invitation. She's the only one.
Well, Penguin Mage and Gingy can always come in here and do whatever the fuck they want. They have free reign of this podcast.
But Gingy and they both have free reign. But if Penguin Mage came to us and was like, you know what? I want to dedicate my life to Detour Head. I want that logo to say Detour Head with Alex, Riely, and Penguin. We would do it.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
But only Penguin, though. Nobody else.
Nobody else?
Else.
Penguin's basically the audio engineer. The one that will... Yeah, the one that keeps us together. Their quick whips and funny judgments. Anyway.
Quick whips and funny judgments. Penguin Mage.
Anyway. Her sassy comeback. Anyway, I'm just saying that the government is too big. Remember, this podcast is all about small picture. Small picture, small podcast.
Small podcast.
Government's too big for a small picture, small podcast, so we need to make it small.
It is so stupid.
We need to make it smaller. It's too big.
Smaller.
It's
okay.
Too big for the general population, Riely. There's too many. Too many old people. I really think that this country would last so much longer than this. I really think that we will go far if we just wipe the slate clean and start it over again. Be like, all right, everybody, here's what we're gonna do. You know your little local government, your tiny little one, the one that rules your little city,
gone.
Go vote them. All right, go vote them. Next week, we're gonna go a little bigger. We're gonna do county. Okay, you picking up? You picking up what I'm throwing down? We're gonna go county. All right, and then after that, we're gonna do districts. And then after districts, we're gonna go state.
So to be clear, this line of thought started with 3 people on a podcast. I would just like to clarify that that's still where we are.
Once you have your people in your respective places, then you will go to them and try and convince them to go and vote for someone for the country. You try and convince your state government to go vote for you in the big national election. Okay? Are you picking it up? Do you understand? Do you get this? Have you got this far?
Yes.
That's the Electoral College, and it's dumb.
Yeah. I hate the Electoral College.
Yep. You see how fucking stupid it is?
Yeah, I think even though I know like a bunch of people, like a lot of people on my side will defend the Electoral College, I feel like that's only because we've won on the back of the Electoral College before. In reality, the Electoral College is fucking stupid.
So everything that I said is basically the Electoral College. Now, why would the popular vote matter?
The popular vote doesn't matter on a country scale.
Oh, the popular vote doesn't matter, so my vote doesn't matter.
On a country scale.
So for the president, who I vote for shouldn't matter.
No, but it does matter though. But it does. But it does. But it does. But it does. Because
I don't think you're seeing the strings that are going across the board right now.
Listen, okay? Even though the Electoral College sucks and is bad.
Do you think we should get rid of the Electoral College and just go straight by popular vote?
Yes.
I completely agree.
But in the scenario that we exist in currently, where the Electoral College exists,
okay,
even if you're in a state that does not swing, it's important to. It's not that hard to go vote. Just vote, because even if there's a tiny little infinitesimal chance that there might be some sort of uprising in the political ideology that you truly believe in that place, you don't want to have stayed home because there's no chance and been the reason why that didn't happen.
Do you play the lottery?
Sometimes, not often.
Do you play Mega Millions?
Once or twice.
You try and win that like 10 million, 100 million, 50,000 million dollar, whatever it is now.
I'd be lying if I said I haven't done it before.
That's basically the same thing. Did you win?
No.
Did the money that you pay for that card matter?
But you don't. But the difference is you don't pay any money for this. You just go vote.
Those scratch offs. Those have better odds. Those have better odds than Mega Millions or the state lottery, the big one. What about the little scratch off? You pay $1 and you try and win $20, right? Did that dollar matter if you lose?
Yes.
Does that dollar matter in the big picture of how many people have actually won that $20? Did that $1 matter?
No.
Oh, okay. So that tiny little chance that you have, that tiny little chance that you have, that one single dollar doesn't matter.
I see what you're saying, Alex. I see what you're getting at. I'm mopping up.
It's the same.
I'm mopping up what you're spilling. I'm mopping up what you're spilling. But what you fail to understand here is that it's two different scenarios. Because when it's the lottery, every time you do it, you are paying in with resources that you might lose. Whereas voting is completely free, and you just do it of no cost to you. And then if the lottery, maybe you win it, then whatever. If the lottery was free,
voting
if the lottery was free,
hold on. I want to explore this little avenue. Voting is free?
Yes.
The concept of voting is free.
Uh-huh.
How are you going to go cast your ballot?
That doesn't work anymore, buddy. This would have been a good argument 2 election cycles ago.
No. Humor me. How are you going to cast your ballot?
By sending it in the mail, which is why this doesn't work anymore.
No. Listen. Follow the little red yellow brick road here.
If
you send it into the
there's
mail.
No longer a requirement. Okay.
You send it.
Go ahead.
You send it into the mail. Hear me out. How are you going to send it into the mail?
Oh, because you have to buy a stamp for a dime, and that is technically you paying in.
That's technically, it's not free.
You're right. You're right. Okay.
Can afford stamps. Now, if the government, let's say, if the government decides to send the ballots out to your house, and it actually doesn't cost you anything out of your
if you apply for a mail-in ballot, do they not give you a return stamp? I feel like they probably do.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
They send it to you with a return address already paid for. Is that free?
Yes.
Where does the return... How is that paid for? How is the paper paid for by the government? Taxes. The
Yes.
government gets nothing is free in this world. Nothing
But
is
voting,
free.
you can't make
If I
voting not
send you a book,
exist.
the concept of free does not exist, Riley. The concept
You're
of free
right, but
does
it's
not
free.
exist.
Yeah, nothing is ever free ever because you're paying taxes for it. Correct.
Exactly.
But I'm not keeping that in mind because it's obvious that that's true.
Let's go to another. Let's go down a different path. All right. I see
Okay.
the yellow brick road is a little too bright for me. All right. The yellow brick road is a little too
Also,
bright.
real quick, pause. Because remember when earlier I really wanted to finish what I was saying, and you were like, "No, let me finish what I was saying first," and then we never went back to it. Remember when that happened? Let's get back to what I was saying
I'm sure that's
35
happened
minutes
a bunch.
ago.
I'm sure that's happened a bunch. Continue. I'll be
So,
quiet. I'll be quiet. Okay.
so I really hate in the current society how politics are the entire person. Like I understand the arguments of everybody who says it, and I can't even like refute them reasonably. Like, oh, they affect my rights directly. That's true, but like, is that accomplishing anything? Like to just from person to person on an individual level, just completely dismiss human beings because they have different political views. Like that's not accomplishing anything. All it does is create hatred within yourself. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Is what I'm saying essentially. Like, don't worry. From individual person to person, don't worry about it because all you're gonna do is fuck with yourself. That's not gonna accomplish anything. I hate that in society now. Like, I feel weird about this episode. I'm gonna like lay down at night tonight. I'm gonna lay down and I'm gonna think.
Oh, I'm gonna get a text later saying, "Hey, are we still cool?" Like
Oh no,
our last
I guarantee.
discussion.
No, we're still cool. I know that. I'm
If
gonna
you
be
don't want
laying.
to put this
I'm.
episode up, we can re-record. We can
No,
scrap this
that's the
episode
thing.
right
That's
now.
the
Get
thing.
the bears out of here, and we'll go talk about what we originally talked about.
That's the thing, right? That's the thing. Yeah, that's what I would be thinking. But I hate that I even have to think that way because the fact that society is at that point disgusts me.
Now,
And for that,
have you said anything that you haven't said on a previous podcast before?
I mean, probably not if I'm thinking realistically.
Everything I've said has not been said at all, so I have more to lose than you do on a technicality. So you
You're
should
right.
be fine. Detour ahead will continue. Like, I'm not gonna be. Oh, I don't want to work with Riely anymore. He's a liberal cuck. No, I'm not gonna do that.
No, I'm not.
I might tweet at you tomorrow morning because I might think
I'm
it's
afraid
funny.
of like I'm not enough of a liberal cuck for the liberal
You're not.
cucks, and I'll get in trouble with the liberal cucks. That's the problem. That's the issue.
Oh, so you care about what other people think of you?
I mean, a little.
Why? Why? Why do you care what people think of you?
Because I want to be able to obtain an audience without it being squandered by the job lynch mob.
The job lynch mob is gonna come after you.
Yeah.
The job lynch mob is leftist. Everybody knows that.
But I believe in free. I said earlier that I think you should be allowed to do hate.
You work with trans people. You advocate for rights of trans people.
Yes,
nobody
so
is going to come after
I should be fine. But logic
you will be fine. If anything, I should be concerned about the job lynch mob.
True.
I should be concerned.
You're right. You have more. You have more of a reason to be concerned. That's true. And
I just got done
and that's
with
another
day
thing.
two.
A lot of these people
come after my fucking job. Come after my fucking chicken.
Don't encourage them to come after your chickens.
If I lose my job, if I lose my job for encouraging the job lynch mob, whose fault is it?
Your fault.
Their fault for acting on it.
It's your fault because you said it.
No, it's their fault for acting on it. This goes back to what we were saying.
It's both of your fault. It's your fault for saying it, and it's their fault for acting on it.
It's not. It's not. Don't worry about my chickens. There's no reason for you to come after my chickens. Don't worry about what's in my yard. Don't worry about why there's chicken sounds coming from the back. Because it's none of your fucking business.
You're right. That's fair.
That was a precursor. That was me testing the waters of seeing where things could go. All right. Don't worry about my chickens. That was freedom of speech.
Yeah, don't worry about the chickens. You're right. You're right.
Don't worry about the chickens. If my monitors weren't in the way, I'd get them like real close and be like, don't worry about it. All right.
Oh, don't worry about the fucking chickens. But
I would like to put someone real quick. All right, don't worry about the chicken. As famous singer Jackie Moon once said, "Everybody love everybody." That's what I
yes.
hope for the future. You don't agree with me. Don't agree
No,
with me.
that's true. That is what I
Jackie
want.
Moon is. Do you know who Jackie Moon is, Riley?
No, but I agree with that sentiment. I want to know who Jackie Moon is now because I agree with that sentiment.
I'll send it to you after. I'll send it to you after the show. It's good.
I want a world where we can all live in peace and harmony. I think
I honestly think that everybody does, but everybody's been so radicalized into thinking that politics is the most important thing in the world, and that's is going to destroy this country.
But at the same time, like, I do get it. It's a hard scenario because I see the counter argument where it is that things that people believe should be completely inalienable human rights have become extremely politicized. So it feels necessitated at that point to become extremely politicized because there's stuff on the line that you feel like should be completely inalienable, and it's farcical that it isn't. So you have to be like super on the, like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't know if that accomplishes much. Vote for your side, voice your opinions and advocate for them, but just hating on others and ruining the lives of others in some cases because they disagree is stupid and it's not accomplishing anything.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, I know you're not a big history bro over here.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that George Washington, our very first president, a very honorable man, did what nobody else in this country wanted to do, which was run this country. He said that a two-party system would be basically I'm paraphrasing. Don't quote me on here. But he basically said that a two-party system is what is going to destroy this country. And I fully believe that that's right. Because a two-party system that's basically he said, she said at this point.
So this is me completely just like recounting something I might have heard in history class 6 years ago that I might be botching.
Okay.
So how the voting system works with parties outside of Democratic and Republican, it's from what I heard, I don't know if this is complete bullshit that I'm making up. If a party that is not Democrat or Republican receives at least like 2% of the total votes, then they get to like be a real party and be in debates and stuff. Is that real, or is some form of that real?
Let me double check.
Because like I remember this was an argument for like why you would vote libertarian that somebody quoted to me.
More or less, you can pretty much create whatever party you want.
No, that's always been true. But what I heard was that like, because
for it to be like respectable.
Because when there's because there's the big political debates, right? Like you have debates between political candidates. Usually, fucking Johnny Libertarian is not present for those. But I believe there is a certain percentage of the vote
that's too big government for them. They don't like.
Yeah.
They don't the big show. The big show is too big for them.
For the libertarians specifically, but I could be talking about any party.
Small town debates.
Small town debates. That's right. You're right. But if it was the Green Party, then
the Green Party usually goes up there, but at the same time,
but they're not given the proper due. Like at the end of the day, the main event is like at the end of the day, the main event is like Donald Trump versus fucking Joe Biden or whatever. I believe there's a certain percentage of the vote at which then the main event debate would be between Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and Johnny Libertarian or Johnny Green Party.
I mean, yeah, theoretically, that's how it probably should be.
So basically, if you want to make
also have to factor in the news stations don't care about Johnny Libertarian.
If you want to make a difference with your votes, you should, regardless of your political vote, regardless of your political beliefs, vote libertarian until it becomes real, and then vote for green until it becomes real.
Libertarian views?
No, I'm just saying there needs to be more parties that actually matter. So vote libertarian until the libertarians are real. Then vote Green Party until the Green Party is real. Continue.
Don't. I can only endorse one of those. Don't go. Don't. That's like asking for Bernie Sanders. That's asking a lot.
I would love to ask for.
No, because
do you know who you're talking to?
He's a fucking boomer. No more boomers. We need an age cap.
No, you're right. No more boomers. Like, the thing is,
if you're
like
50, you should be shot. You're done.
I don't know about that.
You're done. No more. Go sit and do puzzles.
Yeah. Go sit and do puzzles. That's a much better thing to say than the first thing you said.
You're done. No more. If you're 50, you're too old for politics. Get the fuck out of my government.
I understand the sentiment, but I feel like it's probably more like 65.
No, 65 is too old, Riely.
I don't think so.
Do 65-year-olds have the same beliefs as you? Do they believe in the same thing?
It depends from person to person?
No, they don't. Unless they've radicalized their children, they do not believe in the same thing that Gen Z and millennials believe in. Millennials should be in power right now, but they're not because of terms and no age cap. Once you hit 50, you should not become president. 50 is too old.
Aren't you not even allowed to be president until you're like 40?
You can become president at 35.
Oh, 35. Okay.
35. The requirements for being president is you have to be born in the US of A.
You have to keep that in mind, folks. I don't know these things.
The requirements to be president of the United States in the Constitution are written as you must be 35 years of age. You must be, not in any particular order. You have to be born on U.S. soil in the U.S. of A. Okay?
Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware of that one.
For at least 10 years. You have to be a resident of the United States. You can't be born on U.S. soil and go live in fucking Iraq or Iran and then come back here and try and run for president.
But you can if you were in America for 10 years. Once you've reached 10 years, then you can.
I believe it's like recent 10 years, possibly. I'm not sure. I think that's a little loose.
Perhaps 10 years of adulthood. So if your first 10 years were in America, then maybe that doesn't count. But like, if you were in America from like, you were in America,
like Obama. Obama was the exception. All right.
From age 18, right. You were born in U.S. soil, and you were in America from age 18 to age 28, and then you weren't in America after that. I feel like that would count then.
It's up to interpretation, as is the rest of the country.
Fair enough.
And you have to have a high school degree. A high school degree at 35, Riely. That's all it takes to become president. Riely, if I was born in the United States, which I was not, but if I was...
beans.
If I was, I could run for president.
I was, so I could if I was 35.
In 10 years. In 10 years, I could run for president if I was born in the United States. I could. And if I win, I'm fucking president of the United States. Do I have any political party affiliation? No. But if you want to win, that's what I was talking about earlier, is if you want to win, you cannot run as Libertarian or Green Party. You cannot run as them because you will get shit on by the high-powered Democrats and Republicans.
Here's the thing: when we exist in this party system, I feel like being a part of the Libertarians and the Green Party and parties that also exist are important. Running as an independent, like no party at all, you're an idiot. But running as a Libertarian or a Green Party, you are contributing towards trying to make those parties more accepted. Whereas there's no universe in which independent candidates with no association will be looked at with the same amount of caliber. But there is a universe, if there's enough of an uprising to cause it, where libertarians or green parties are considered. Because they are political parties that exist and are established that do receive some amount of the votes each time. So if those were increased, they could be considered. Whereas independent candidates with no party to be associated with, that's never going to happen for them.
No, because they don't have the same caliber as everybody else. Because nobody looks at them and goes, "I like what he's saying." No, because nobody pays attention to anybody in any party anymore except for Democrat or Republican, which is why Trump ran under the Republican name.
There was somebody who I knew who ran as an independent candidate for president, who was not a politician at all. And just he applied to run for president and he fucking
You can once you're 35, if you have a high school degree, not GED, a high school degree, I'm not saying that was not a hit on you. I don't know.
Wait, the GED doesn't count? Is that true?
It's not a high school degree. It's not a diploma. It's not a diploma. It's not a diploma. Hold on.
That's fucked up. No, that's not true, because a GED is considered the same as a diploma in terms of that type of thing.
Requirements for president.
I'm pretty sure. Okay.
Here we go. The executive branch / White House on whitehouse.gov. All right.
Okay.
The Constitution lists only 3. Okay. You know what? I was wrong. According to the
high school diploma or equivalent,
the Constitution lists only 3 qualifications for the presidency. The president must be at least 35 years of age, be a natural-born citizen, and must have lived in the United States for at least 14 years.
Oh, so you don't even need a high school
Americans,
diploma.
blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah.
There might be additional requirements for party association. Like maybe if you want to be a Democrat, you got to get a diploma, buddy, or we're not gonna acknowledge you. This is all complete hearsay, and it's probably completely stupid.
I'm actually curious about this. Hold on.
Oh, we reached a rabbit hole.
Oh,
abort. This is not good radio. Oh, you got something?
Okay.
We got something here?
It's the same for vice president.
Oh.
You have to be at least 35 years, live in the U.S. for 14 of those.
You see, that you should get rid of.
And you have to
You should be able to have a Zoomer vice president if you want.
No, I fully believe 35 years of age is perfectly fine.
For president. Yes. But I feel like vice president shouldn't. They should get rid of that for vice president.
Nah, because then you could... because then that's like dynasty. That could be considered dynasty vibes. Like if I go run for president... You're not
guaranteed a presidency just because you were a vice president.
Like if my dad goes and runs for president, who he shouldn't because he's over the age of 60, so he shouldn't be running for president because he's too old. If he runs and he chooses me as his vice president, if he dies, that could be a dynasty.
Somebody who's related to you to be your vice president?
You can.
Are you sure?
Yes, you can. Was that considered heavy nepotism? Yes, it is, and it's heavily frowned upon, which is why people don't do it.
You have to. I guess is a question. I don't want to make a statement and then ask if I'm right because I'm not informed at all. So if you fuck, now I don't remember what I was gonna say. God damn it! Shit, it's gone. It's over, boys.
It's okay.
Rest in peace to whatever that thought was. Sometimes it happens. Well. We got anything else? We are well over our required timetable, so
You don't want to talk about this anymore?
if you have more to ask,
I don't
I felt
really
like
have anything to talk about,
I felt like we
honestly.
were at
Like,
a point of conclusion.
I mean, more or less, yeah. Are you comfortable with this episode?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, also whenever I talk about politics, everybody calls me an idiot, so that's also part of it.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm gonna be. If we had a bigger following, I would be called a radical alt right.
true.
So, like, if you get
And
called
if that
stupid,
happened,
I get called an radical alt right.
and if
Alt
that
right.
happened,
So, like,
those same people would deign be just as bad because they fully believe in guilty by association.
so you become alt right as well
Exactly.
and radicalized, like I am,
True.
like I have been.
Except I'm not, because I believe all the things you believe. I just think that we should all love each other and the jokes are funny.
Yeah, jokes are funny.
That's the message that I want to get to those crazy fucking hyper liberals who are just canceling people left and right for the littlest of transgressions. I believe in all the things you believe. I want to achieve all the things you want to achieve. I just think that you should be able to make jokes about anyone and anything because it's funny and silly, even if it's a stereotype, even if it was said in a literal and direct context to be considered maybe racist or sexist or whatever ist you want to apply. I think jokes are funny. And that's the bottom line. That's all it is. And I also think that maybe we shouldn't hate each other just because we believe different things. Even though I've made this very clear. I believe every Republican is a mouth breathing idiot. But I'm
Yeah.
still willing to be their friend. And I'm still willing to have a legitimate friendship with them because I don't think they're all their politics. I think they're an idiots, but I don't think that makes them I don't think that makes them a monster.
Am I a monster?
No, you're an
Why?
idiot, but you're not a monster.
Why am I an idiot for my views?
Because I think they're wrong. Like, that's the bottom line. It's literally just personal. I think I have a belief system, and your belief system directly conflicts with that. And I think as a result, you are stupid because I am right and you are wrong. But I don't think with that in mind, I should judge you entirely as a person because I think there are a lot more layers to humanity than
So you
just
don't want to
politics.
judge me, but you'll call me stupid for my political views?
Yes, I'm not saying that I won't judge you at all, but what I am saying is that I won't judge you as a person. I will still view you in terms of like a human relationship position completely unchanged. I just think that the way that you view the world is stupid. And that's it. And I don't care about that. I'm willing to completely have a relationship with you. I'm not even saying you're entirely stupid because I'm also willing to have intellectual discussions with those people about other things and to be interested in their nuanced thoughts about other things. I don't think it makes you a complete idiot. But I just think that in general, in terms of how they review the world, if you're a Republican, you're kind of a fucking idiot. But I don't think that devalues you as a human being
God
in
damn,
any way.
this episode's gonna get released, and Demi's never gonna come on this podcast again.
No, I think she will. She hangs out with Kathy. I think at the end of the day, like, you're fine.
Okay. Kathy is way more radicalized than I am.
she
To use that term
might get mad.
loosely.
She might get mad at you a lot more often, but she's not going to stop talking to you.
I don't want to lose that. That's why I never bring up politics, because I don't want to lose friends over it. Because, like
And
we
it
said,
sucks that you do. Like, I hate it. I hate it here. Is the bottom line.
I hate it here too.
Like, politics are a hard thing to just ignore, like, in
Do
terms
you
of
think
personal.
that the reason people are like this is because of the people in power?
Pass. I don't know if a small picture, small podcast, small picture, small, no metaphysical.
You want to go smaller? Okay. Your neighbor, hypothetically, your neighbor has opposing views than you. Okay?
Sure.
In this scenario, Who's responsible for their views?
Oh my god. I know what you're doing to me.
No. Just continue this little hypothetical. Who is
Stay on the
responsible?
train. Just stay on the train.
You know what? Not even your neighbor. Fuck your neighbor.
Okay.
Why do you have the views that you have?
Because I believe that the views that I hold about how the world should work are objectively correct and provide just
Okay, that
the.
didn't answer my question.
I'm kidding. I'm not
Well,
done
okay,
yet.
not why. Not why. I wasn't looking for why.
Oh,
How?
okay, okay.
How did you get these views?
Because I observed the world around me
Okay.
and I heard things
From
in my life from just all the people around me, from the
okay.
family to the teachers to the friends to the everybody.
Okay.
And I absorbed all of this information, and I came to understand within my own world how I felt about things that were happening and how I felt those things should be dealt with. And that's it. That's it. That's it. That's the one.
Okay. How did I, in your opinion, get my political views? In
Same
your
exact
opinion,
way.
false. Wrong.
Okay.
Both of my parents and my sisters are all don't agree with me. Let's say that. I don't want to put them in like a. I don't know what their political views are. I know that they're not hardcore Republican or hardcore
No, I'm not
right or
talking about just
whatever.
your family. I'm talking about the
I know.
entire world around you.
So like people in and the media would have a decent influence on the younger
Mm,
person's political views. Correct.
mm,
Correct. The
this
media
is
that we consume.
we're getting in too deep.
We're not getting in too deep. Just the media and
I'm not willing to fully
social
dismiss.
media.
I'm not willing to fully dismiss the media or just like any group as being
If you
like
grow up listening to CNN and NPR, you're gonna have a worldview that is extremely different
But that was just
than the
that's the
homegrown
decision you
roots
made to not change the
of the
channel to
Appalachia.
Fox News.
But you
Like you
grew
still
up
you
watching
had that
CNN.
resource available to you.
Your parents watched CNN. So what would compel you to look at the other side? What would compel you, Riely, to even bother looking at the other side of things?
I would hope just like logic.
Yeah? Logic?
It's like, hey, what's going on over there?
But what's like appealing
Have a
to
desire
you?
to understand the opposition to this.
Like you and me. What's appealing about me and my political views?
I personally, if we're talking at a personal level, which is how you're asking the question,
That's what I'm
I've
asking.
I've
Why
always
do you want to learn? Why do you care about
I've
my
always
political views?
desired to understand the other side. Like that in anything outside of
Okay.
politics, like literally any opinion that I have, I want to understand the other side. That's why I enjoy having discussion with people about like media that we disagree about. Like when I talk about like just to say example, like I'm talking to somebody about a movie and I hated the movie and they
Yeah.
liked the movie.
You want to
I
find
want to
out
know
why they
why.
like that movie.
Yes.
You are in a very small percentage of people in the world, in the US, that care about the other side. That's where I'm getting at. I'm not trying to grill you. I've brought my tone down from yelling and being condescending to civil and not screaming and getting rageful, as one might say.
No, there's no personal rage here, by the way. I want to make
No,
that clear.
no,
No matter
it's
how
all
much
political
yeah,
rage.
no matter how much like barking and yelling you do, like at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. Like we're still
Imagine,
immediately these bots are gonna leave, and we're
imagine
just gonna
some
hang
bullshit
out.
comes up when we gotta miss next week's episode. The people are gonna, the few listeners we have are gonna be like, "Oh my god, what happened? Oh no!"
Oh no!
All I'm saying, my whole point to this is,
Oh, there's a new episode. Oh, why does the logo say "Detour ahead with Alex"? And that's it.
well, I mean, it'd be the polo show. it'd be the Colo show.
That's true. Well, yeah,
I'm
because we
looking
don't
for
really
a
have an
co-host.
established audience. If
I'm gonna have to look for a co-host who embodies everything of the previous one, but isn't an asshole. But it's gonna take a while. I might be
you have
interviewing
to
a few people.
you would have to find your Rucka Rucka Ali.
I was gonna have to find my new. Not no.
Yes,
no.
I referenced the other one that you don't like because I knew that would bother you.
No, it wouldn't be Rucka because Rucka's a pussy. But
Ruck is a pussy, sure, but what you said, the sentence that you stated, where
I was going.
you have a co-host.
Trying to draw Dick Show parallels here.
Yeah, but I'm drawing it the opposite way because if
not
you have
the best debate. Because of course you go the other way. Because you always go the other way. Are you going to create best detour in the universe?
Best detour. No, I'm creating the Riely show.
Podcast.
You're gonna make the best debate in the Colo show.
Coloverse? No, I would go and create the Colo show. That's what I would do. And I'd try and bring Penguin on.
You do the Colo show, and I would do the Riely show. But which one would really be the one?
Be the Colo show.
Because a rose by any other name. If Maddox just started the Maddox show, it would still be Maddox's show, and it would still be a show that we all made fun of, and that we all don't like him still. The show is irrelevant. It's on the metatextual level, which show would be the Dick show and which show would be.
Did you just say a word that we're trying to make? Small podcast, small picture, buddy. Small podcast, small picture. Don't bring up metaphysics. We don't talk about metaphysics. We talk about microphysics here. Okay. Microphysics.
Did I say
metaphysics? Dropping my vape on the ground and wanting to tie a noose. That's the kind of physics we talk about here.
I definitely meant metatextual, but I think I said metaphysical just because we've been saying.
No, I'm sure you. I didn't hear anything past meta because meta's too big for this.
Okay, fair.
I was trying to make a joke about how I'm good. Obviously, every good podcast has one side and one other side, regardless of what sides those are. It could be Green Party and Libertarian. Doesn't even have to be politics. It could be left, right. Doesn't matter. Cis, trans, man, woman. Doesn't matter. Opposites attract and make good. That's what I was getting there. Obviously, right. Detour Head is not going anywhere because it lasted longer than the previous
show. True. The previous show did not last very long.
It did not.
I believe it had 13 episodes.
And what are we at now?
53.
There you go. 53.
I was about to say the old show didn't break up because we hated each other, but it kind of did.
It kind of did. I hated everything. I hated everything I was doing, but to be fair, I did hate everything, all of my content back. That was the biggest thing.
Alex, you gotta get closer to your mic. It's doing that thing where it cuts the last word of all of your sentences because you're not close enough to it.
Come here, Patrick. You gotta come off the microphone for a bit. Let's.
Listen, Alex. We have a saying around here. Get on the fucking mic.
Fucking mic. Is that better for you? Hold on, let me take the pop filter off. Is that better for you, Riely?
You're a little bit. You're too on the mic now.
So is that better? I'll deep throat this fucking mic. Get on the fucking mic, Riely.
Get on the fucking mic. You know what I mean. You understand.
I know what you mean. Don't tell me to get on the fucking mic. I'm always on the mic.
Yo, DJ on the mic. What? Hey, blah, 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 blah.
Let me put this little pop filter back on.
And I would like to, first of all, revisit a point that I made earlier, and point out that it was not made as delicately as it could have been. Sometimes I phrase things in very harsh ways naturally, and then I think about them, and I realize my real opinion is a little bit more subtle than the way I expressed it. I don't know if I would say all Republicans are idiots, looking back on that thing I said 10 minutes ago.
Everybody who goes into politics are fucking stupid. Everybody.
That's true. You know what? True. But
if you choose to go into politics, you're fucking stupid. And I wish.
I think all Republicans are wrong about politics. I don't think that makes them stupid in
politics is wrong
any
with
other way.
Let me get this mic out of my fucking face. You made me break my mic.
That sounds like more like a YP than an MP. If you're breaking your fucking mic just because you moved it a little bit and you decided to do a joke where you put it up to your mouth. I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't say, "Hey Alex, take your pop filter off and fucking make out with your microphone."
Fuck you. I'll keep it in my hand. I don't need this shit.
I don't need this shit from you. Are there any other points that we've yet to address?
Are you getting any interference? Does it sound like I have a microphone in my hand?
I don't hear any interference. You do sound kind of weird though.
Do I sound weird?
Kind of crackly. I
Oh,
think
yeah?
you might have actually broken your mic.
No, I've got my mic and my microphone in my hand like a talk show host now. We gotta do video. Now that we're on YouTube, I really want to do like a video so like you can see all the stupid little antics that are going on. Good videos.
Okay, now now your mic is broken.
Is it broken? Is it bad?
Yeah, because I'm hearing like sometimes you talk and then it turns into like a. And it's like that's
Okay.
You don't want that.
Let me go test something real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I see what you mean. Yeah, it's a little funky. Yeah, this has been Detour Ahead, everybody. Thank you everybody so much for listening.
This has been Detour Ahead. Alex has to buy a new mic now.
I don't have to buy it. Okay. How does this sound? Does this sound better? Let me put the pop filter back on.
Is the pop filter still not
on? No. Kind of fell off. It's better?
Yes.
Does that sound okay? Is that better?
Well, there's still something off about it. I don't know.
Well, it's off because the fucking stand is on the ground and I'm holding the microphone in my hands. You know, there's not really much I can do about that at this point.
But it seems like you should be clearer and less interferency and under those conditions.
Well, it's not my fault that my microphone decided to break out of a fit of rage. All right, I'll get this.
Fair enough.
Do you want to stay on the line and continue, or do you want me to fix this, or do you want to continue, like end the show?
I mean, we're about done anyway, unless there was something you wanted to bring up.
No, I'm pretty much done. I mean, I gotta hold a microphone for the rest of the show, so.
Well, Alex, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at YouTube, COLOCHU, Colochu. You can find me on Twitter. I don't really do anything. No, if you guys want to come on the show, and have some spicy pants, DM me on Twitter or Discord, or email me at colochu54@gmail.com. Come on the show, debate us. Best debate in the universe, everybody.
Yes.
Greatest argument in the galaxy.
Yep. I think it was going to be, we were going to do an April Fool's joke. Well, I don't think it ever actually got like significantly planned, but there was always like a floated idea of an April Fool's joke where we did the Andrew show and the coolest argument in the galaxy. But you can find me.
Riely, where can our listeners find you? Wrap up the show. I'm going to fix this.
Thank you so much. You can find me at Linktree, which is in the description, and it's also on my Twitter at Riely Tweets in the pinned tweets. It is linktr.ee/Riely Cinematic Universe. It has all sorts of podcasts and YouTube channels and other internet things. So much content, more content that you could possibly ever consume in your life, and you can get started on the insurmountable amount of content right now by going there. And I thank you all for listening to Detour Ahead. I've been Riely, she's been Alex, and we'll see you next week. And that's the bottom line.
What kind of stupid fucking tagline was that? You cut me, you whore. You cut me off.
It's okay. Yark's still here. I'll use that one. Goodbye, everybody.
You want that stupid fucking whore left in?
Yep.
Good.